Have you ever walked into your garden, noticed holes in your leaves, aphids clustering on your plants, or caterpillars chewing through everything? And your first instinct was to reach for a spray bottle? Well, what if I told you that some of the best pest control in your garden already has wings, legs, and a healthy appetite for those pests? Today, we are talking about one of the smartest and the most sustainable ways to protect your garden, and that is using beneficial insects and natural control. Instead of fighting nature, we are learning how to work with it. I am Josh from Sprout of Philippines and Yabong Pilipinas, here for Omaha Gardener, your host for this brand new series, Garden Defense 101. Let us break it down. First, let us answer the question, what are beneficial insects? Beneficial insects are insects that help your garden rather than harm it. Most gardeners are familiar with pests like aphids, whiteflies, spider mites, and caterpillars. These insects feed on plant sap or leaves and can quickly damage crops or ornamentals. But beneficial insects act as a natural predators or parasites that keep those pest populations under control. That keep those pest populations under control. Think of them like your garden's built in pest management team. Some insects hunt pests and eat them directly, and others lay eggs inside pests, stopping them from reproducing. The result is a natural balance that prevents outbreaks before they get out of control. And the best part? These insects do the work 24 hours a day, completely free of charge. Now, let us go to the most helpful beneficial insects. Let us meet some of the garden heroes you'll want around. First, we have lady beetles, also known as lady bugs. Lady beetles are probably the most famous beneficial insects. Both the adult beetles and their larvae feed heavily on aphids, but they also eat mites, scale insects, and small caterpillars. One lady beetle can consume up to 50 aphids per day and hundreds during its lifetime. If you ever see a small black spiky insect crawling on your plant, do not panic. That's actually a lady beetle larva, and it's an even more aggressive aphid hunter than the adult. The next one are lacewings. The green lacewings are another powerful ally in your pest control. Their larvae are sometimes called aphid lions because of their appetite for soft bodied pests. They feed on aphids, thrips, whiteflies, and insect eggs. While the adult lacewing mainly feeds on pollen and nectar, the larvae are the real pest control specialists. So, if you are growing vegetables like lettuce, peppers, tomatoes, cucumbers, lacewings can play a big role in keeping pests in check. The next one are parasitic wasps. Now, before you get nervous about the word wasp, these are tiny, non stinging wasps that are incredibly beneficial. Parasitic wasps lay their eggs inside pests like caterpillar, aphids, or whiteflies, and when the eggs hatch, the larvae develop inside the pest, eventually stopping it from causing further damage. You might even notice aphid mummies on your plants. And these are the swollen brown aphids that have been parasitized by beneficial wasps. It might look strange, to be honest, but it is actually a sign that your garden's natural pest control is working. Next, we have the hoverflies. Hoverflies look a bit like small bees, but they're actually flies. You'll often see them hovering around flowers, which is where they get their name. Adult hoverflies are excellent pollinators, but their larvae feed on aphids and other soft bodied pests. A single hoverfly larva can eat dozens of aphids in a day, making them very valuable for vegetable gardens. Beneficial insects control pests in two ways. First is predation. Predators like lady beetles, lacewings, and hoverfly larvae actively hunt and consume pests. They reduce pest numbers directly by feeding on them. The second one is parasitism. Parasitic insects, such as certain wasps, use pests as their hosts for their eggs. This interrupts the pest life cycle and prevents future generations. Together, these natural enemies create a biological control system that keeps pest populations from exploding. In nature, pests rarely exist without predators nearby. The goal in gardening is to encourage those predators to stay. Now, the big question is, how do you invite these helpful insects into your garden? Fortunately, it is easier than you might think. First is you can plant flowers that provide nectar and pollen. Many beneficial insects rely on nectar and pollen for food, especially the adults. Planting flowering species can make your garden far more attractive to them. Some excellent choices include dill, fennel, yarrow, alyssum, marigolds, cosmos, and sunflowers. These plants provide both food and habitat, encouraging beneficial insects to stay and reproduce. The next one is to grow a diversity of plants. Monoculture gardens, where only one type of plant is grown, tend to attract pests more easily. A diverse garden supports a wider range of insects, including beneficial predators. So, mixing vegetables, herbs, and flowers together helps create a balanced ecosystem where pest outbreaks are less likely. This is also where companion planting can be helpful because certain plant combinations attract beneficial insects while discouraging pests. The next way is to avoid broad spectrum pesticides. One of the biggest threats to beneficial insects is the use of broad spectrum pesticides. These chemicals don't just kill pests, they also eliminate the natural predators that keep pests under control. When beneficial insects disappear, pest populations often rebound even stronger because their natural enemies are gone. Instead, consider using targeted or organic pest management strategies only when necessary. Next one is provide habitat for beneficial insects because they need shelter and overwintering sites. Leaving some areas of your garden a little less tidy can actually help. For example, keep small patches of native plants, leave plant stems standing in winter. You can also add insect hotels or natural habitat areas. These features give beneficial insects places to hide, reproduce, and survive colder seasons. One important thing to remember is that natural pest control isn't instant. Chemical sprays often work quickly, but they can disrupt the balance of your garden ecosystem. Beneficial insects take a little time to establish, but once they do, they provide long term pest management. Think of it as building a living defense system for your garden. Instead of reacting to past problems every season, you are creating conditions that help prevent them in the first place. To end, the healthiest gardens aren't the ones that eliminate every insect. They are the ones that support the right balance of insects. When lady beetles, lacewings, hoverflies, and parasitic wasps are present, your garden becomes a place where pests are naturally kept under control. So, the next time you see an insect in your garden, take a closer look. It might just be one of your best allies. And sometimes, the most effective way to defend your plants is simply to let nature do the work. If you know someone who could benefit from these series, feel free to share it with them. Gardening is always better when we learn from each other and when we grow healthier gardens together. Until next time, keep observing, keep experimenting, and keep learning along the way. This is Josh for Omaha Gardener in our series Garden Defense 101. And remember, if you grow it, you know it.